Every shirt they put to work is looking fly, boss. You want the best in audio, it's nowhere to go. Another episode right now, start the show.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul Era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. DiBiase keep pace. B2TF better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face here on YouTube and all your favorite podcasting platforms. I'm your host, Chris Rucker, along with my boy EJ Reed, and we are here to talk about a busy weekend in the sport of professional wrestling and a busy couple weeks coming up because Summerslam is right around the corner. But before we get to all that, EJ, how you doing?
A little tired. A lot of traveling the past couple days. Got back. A lot of work to be done in my actual job. But, push through it. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Had a lot of fun this weekend going to WWE Evolution and running around Atlanta. My first weekend of getting drunk, so that was fun. Yeah. I don't know if the people around me in Evolution appreciated my drunkenness, but it is what it is.
But you probably got the party started off earlier in the weekend though, because Evolution was Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple drinks Friday night and Saturday night. I think I watched All In and then watched the movie. My daughter was here, so we watched the movie with her. I didn't really do too much then, but Sunday I was making up for lost time on Sunday.
I bet even Friday night those drinks probably hit a little different. You probably took one drink to get you a little buzz.
It wasn't bad. I was drinking some tequila Friday night. Tequila and what was I mixing it with?
Don't tell me you're drinking Terramana.
No, I got what's the name of that shit? I can't think of the name of it. That's like $15 a bottle of like Blanco tequila. Terramana was like 3 times that price. I was like, whatever, it's just tequila. And I was mixing it with like Sprite Zero. So I mean, you don't need like the smoothest tequila when you're mixing it.
I don't think I've ever tried mixing tequila with like carbonated, unless it's like club soda.
It wasn't too bad. I normally, do the tequila sunrise or whatever, but I just didn't have the ingredients for it this week, so I did my thing with the Sprite Zero, and it was good to go.
Gotta make do. I can't be mad at that.
I'm trying to get your... Oh, God damn it. There we go. Kinda. For some reason, the settings on your window always, like, mess up on their own, but whatever. It's just my OCD kicking in where shit's not even. Like, other people probably don't even notice it, but it's just bothering the shit out of me. But, yeah, man. So, EJ was in Texas this week for the listeners and viewers out there. He went to AEW All In. And then here in Atlanta, I went to WWE Evolution. 2 completely different shows, but 2 shows that were a lot of fun. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's other podcasts out there, but I don't know anybody else that can give you the kind of fucking coverage that we got available this week on all the wrestling that happened, right? Like, one motherfucker in Texas, one in Atlanta.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I don't get to listen to this show all the time, but Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jr., he was in Atlanta and his co-host was in Dallas, so it's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah,
situation.
I like their show, but they just got a guest that I was trying to get, and them being the bigger show, got it way before I would probably get it on here, if it even is still a thing, because I hadn't heard back in a couple weeks. But I'm kind of salty listening to them. I like their show, but it's also like celebrities, man.
Yeah. That's like not one I listen to on a regular. Like when I run out of shit to listen to, I'll like throw theirs on. But yeah, they do a good job. Shout out to them.
Yeah. So how was Texas, man? Let's get right to it. You flew out what, Friday night?
Friday morning, I got there hella early. I got there around 7:30 in the morning.
Damn. So you didn't even go to work Friday?
Nah, I don't work Fridays.
Well, excuse me.
I mean, that's it. Back in the 80 proof days, I've never worked Fridays. Yeah, I work 10-hour shifts. I don't work Friday, so it's nice to I get to have like mini vacays without having to take leave. So that's a nice thing about it. So
Yeah.
got there 7:30 a.m. and got my little rental car, little Chevy Cruze, and I went to go see Superman.
Oh yeah, while you were in
You're a
Texas?
Batman. Yeah, I know you're a Batman guy.
I'm actually going to see
Yeah,
Superman
I
next
liked
week.
it. I liked it, man.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if this is like the real temperature because you and I both listen to CNR, so sometimes they'll say something's the new craze or something that's been trending where it's not blowing up that big, but they're like people were saying it was woke. I didn't hear the narrative about that going into the movie.
I don't know.
Well, and I hate that word. I hate the word
Yeah.
woke. 'Cause that's a whole conversation for a different day. But people were saying it was quote unquote woke before it even dropped, and I didn't hear it until they mentioned it Monday. So I didn't go in with those expectations. But retroactively looking back on it, I don't understand how that could be a narrative. It was nothing quote unquote like that in the movie. And then I'm guessing now because they're saying he's like Superman stands up for the true justice and the American way is the original phrase, but apparently in the movie they changed it into true justice and like a better tomorrow. Like, okay, is that what y'all got y'all panties in a bunch for it?
Superman's from planet Krypton, though. Why the fuck would he be
Yeah,
standing up for the American way?
yeah, exactly. It's just
If
it's like
anything,
the vote.
Trump would have deported him. Like, ICE showed up at Superman's house. That nigga ain't got no papers.
Exactly. It's just like I said. I don't think they meant that, but I haven't seen anything online really. Actually, on a Facebook group before the movie came out, I saw people like, "I'm not going to watch." It was like maybe like 30% of people in the comments, and it's just one particular page. I don't know, but it did well. I think it's the highest gross movie, the third highest this year, and it made over 100 million. So, like I said, it's the vocal minority. But I went to one of those 4D movie theaters. I don't know if you've been to one in Atlanta.
No, haven't.
Yeah, so it's like 3D plus like the fourth dimension is like your surroundings. So it has like mist going through the theaters. The chairs are motion sensor chairs and they vibrate like you're almost on a roller coaster ride. It's dope.
Oh, fuck that. I ain't come to get skeeted on. I just came to watch a fucking movie.
It's not that drastic. It's not like you're getting wet like you're on a water park ride. But I thought it was dope. It's only like my second time doing one of those. I did it. Speaking of Batman, I did it when we were in what you call it, Revolution. When we went to Revolution, I
Orlando?
saw Batman.
Or
Yeah, I saw
or
Batman.
North Carolina.
It was Orlando.
Orlando.
I saw that Batman movie in 4D.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna take my daughter to go see Superman next week when she's over for a week or so. And then I don't know, whenever I hear people complaining about stuff being woke, when they're like, it was too woke for me, all I hear them saying is, I don't like equality.
Basically.
Like, shut the fuck up. What are you even talking about? Like, since when did woke become such a... Anyway, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but
Yeah.
it annoys me when people are like, it's just too progressive. Like, why we got all these gay people in here? I don't know, because there's gay people everywhere. Like,
It's the biggest eye roll from me, but Yeah, man, I recommend you see the movie. You and your daughter have fun. Uh, oh, that Lex Luthor, he killed it in there. So shout out. I can't remember the actor's name, but he killed it. So I thought it was dope. But yeah, man. After that, checked in my hotel, and on Thursday, because not a lot of people online were. I was like commenting live on collisions, and not a lot of people that I'm connected with online really talk about it. So like, I joined this big wrestling Discord just to see what the temperature is like. And I mentioned in there that I was going to Dallas, and then somebody said they had tickets, like floor tickets, and they were gonna be there too. I'm like, and they wanted to see if I would buy one. I'm like, sure. And I wasn't gonna do it online. I was gonna meet them in person just in case they tried to get one over me. So met up with the guy. His name's Mikey, and he sold me the floor ticket. And you saw what I posted, how close I was. It was hard floor camera side, and yeah, he was cool. Him and his friend Ian were in an Airbnb. Mikey's from Texas. Ian's from California. Well, Mikey lives in Texas, originally from Chicago, so he's a CM Punk guy. I told him how much you hated CM Punk. But yeah, yeah, they were cool ass dudes, and they invited me to watch ROH the night before because you had to get those VIP tickets to get tickets. So
Yeah.
I chilled at his pace, had a few drinks, watched ROH, and then uh, I was dog shit tired Friday. I didn't even make it to the main event to ROH. I went back to my hotel. And I said, I'll see y'all at the show tomorrow. And yeah, I met up with those guys at the show, and yeah, man, we went on in, and it was a good time, man.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, 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 man. Like online makes the world a smaller place, but yeah, man, it was a dope ass experience going to the event. But I usually don't run into assholes at events like that. But so when we sat down, we were sitting down to these two guys. The guy I was sitting directly next to, he was a cool dude, taller. I think he might have been an Asian guy. I don't want to misrace him or whatever. But then next to him was this like guy. He was about 5'5", full of tattoos,
It's always the
and
short ones.
yeah, exactly. And the dude I was sitting directly next to, he was cool. He was the one that told me like, look up, we're in the hard camera side. I'm like, oh shit. But the dude next to him, like as soon as the show started, everything about every wrestler in the ring was negative. Uh, this guy sucks and this guy sucks. And he was like, one thing like I heard him say, but I let it slide by, is he was like, the only reason Hobbs is in the ring is because he's big and black. All right, I gotta put my antennas up, make sure there's nothing like this, little offhand comments, come like this again. And so, where the problem really started is when, so the way it was set up is they had them like the floor seats had off in sections, so and they had some space in between some of the sections where you could walk through for
Right.
like people. And so they got up, and I don't know what they were cheering for, him and his friends, but they were in the blocking people's way of walking, and then the security guard came up and said, "Y'all can't be doing this. Y'all got to clear this path and just stand a little bit back closer to your seat so people could go through." And the short guy was like, cursing them out, and I paid good money for these fucking seats and blah 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 blah. And the security guard was like, "All right, keep going. I'm gonna get my manager and come back and we'll see what's up."
But if
And
you're in the
so
way, you're in the way of other people that pay good money too. They didn't pay for you to be in a fucking way.
yeah, so the guys that been, you could clearly tell they were inebriated, but they weren't like fall down drunk, but they were definitely drunk. And so security guard came back with his manager, and I don't know. I wouldn't really. I was trying to pay attention to what was in the ring, but they were talking back and forth, and basically the guy gave him a warning, and so everybody goes back to what they were doing, and I went to go to the bathroom, and the guy who I bought the ticket from, Mikey, him and Ian were to my left. Apparently, when me and Ian went to go to the concessions in the bathroom, apparently the short guy got into it with a black couple behind him, and he was cursing them out. And then Mikey said when the black people weren't really listening, he dropped the N bomb, calling the N word B and whatnot. If I would have been there and I heard that, he probably did it because they weren't hearing. But if he would have accidentally slid in front of me, I probably would have got kicked out. I would have swung on you. But yeah, so that happened, and when that happened, Mikey got up and told the security guard, and when that happened, the AEW like AEW security came and gave the dude a warning,
Oh,
but the
warning! I'd
short
have
dude,
been like, y'all can either
yeah, so
get
he
him
got
to
two
leave, or we
warnings.
both gonna get carried out here.
Yeah, so yeah, so AEW security came and talked to him, and they gave him a second warning. And so the short dude knew that Mikey told on them. So after that, like he was like talking shit. It was like awkward for like a good 10 minutes. He was like, "I know you snitched on me, you little bitch. I'm gonna kick your ass." And once we get out the arena or stadium and blah blah this and little snitch, he was doing that for a good 10 minutes, and it was just awkward. I told dude, chill. I said, chill out, dude. So we all trying to just watch wrestling, but he was carrying on. And then after that, Mikey and the woman sitting next to Mikey got up and told security for a third time. And this time, the Texas Ranger Police came and they kicked their asses out after that. So it took a
Imagine.
good 3 times. Got him out of there.
I mean, I don't know where the people were from. Like, obviously, we don't know them. But imagine like traveling all the way to Dallas from somewhere to go there and be belligerent and stupid and to get all those warnings and to still get kicked out. Like I was saying, when I was at Evolution, I was having fun. I was drunk. But like I do like to gauge around like I'm not annoying anybody. And like usually people in my section like laugh at the shit that I say and I'm usually just cheering for people to win. I'm just loud. But like to be calling names and talking shit to people, that's just stupid behavior, man. Like ugh.
Yeah, and, like he even was going back into it with the police. The police were almost had to pull him out by force. But then he was like, "I'm gonna sue. I pay good money." But everybody was clapping once he got kicked out. Everybody like in my section was clapping when he got kicked out. And like I said, his poor friend wasn't really causing that much of commotion. Like he kind of had his back, but didn't have his back, and so like he was just
Yeah.
kind of a bystander. But that happened. That lasted for like half of the event, which is a little annoying. But like you said, like why come there and hate watch? Even before he started popping off to security, he was like hate watching, like talking shit about how all these wrestlers can't wrestle. Like why'd you come then if
Right.
all
You
these
you
wrestlers
you
can't
you're
wrestle?
bragging about how much money you pay for the tickets, but you're saying you don't like shit that's happening. So why'd you fucking pay the money to go there?
Yeah. So yeah, but like I said, that was only about half the show, and like half the time, even when he was popping, I wasn't paying attention, and like I was just ignoring it. So, but other than that, man, it was a dope experience. I'm sure you probably had a different perspective from watching it at home, but like the arena was pretty packed. Of course they had it, like a lot of it cut off because of the stage, but other than that, it like you had people in the upper sections, and like Tony said, it was about 20. He said by the time they finished counting, it'd be like 29 to 30,000, but
Yeah.
Mariners like the final counts would be like 28 or so, but still, man,
Well,
dope.
yeah, I do have a couple questions. Because it looked phenomenal on TV. Like they did this wide angle shot where they showed, and I was like, God damn, that's a lot of fucking people in it. Like it looked like a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The lighting was good. Like the sound was good. At least watching at home. But besides the drunk guy, like how was the atmosphere? Because I will say this, it did feel like the energy was very low at times. But I do know that when you get in those big stadiums, if you don't mic it correctly, it feels like that. And with the fact that it was, 6 hours long for the main show, it could have just been lulls. But like, how was the energy in there? Was it as? Because I haven't watched it back, but just sitting here on my couch watching, I felt like at times it didn't get really loud until I would say like halfway through the tag match. Like even the Tony Storm and Mercedes match, I thought wasn't as loud as I thought it should be. But about halfway through the Bucks against Osprey and Swerve, I felt like the crowd woke up and they stayed awake the rest of the time.
I don't know. You might be right about like the mic because I feel like the energy was high all night, even after damn near 8 hour pay per view if you include the pre show. Because there might have been some times where some matches where the crescendo might have been different, but from nobody was really sitting on their hands. Everybody had high energy for most of the show. And there was a couple times I went to the bathroom, but even when I came back, it seems like energy was up, at least on the floor. I don't know how it felt being in the stands, but on the floor, like we had energy the whole time. And then especially for the beginning, Okada and Omega, like even before the match started, people were like on their feet,
Mm.
standing ovation. So yeah, I feel like the energy was high basically the whole night. Without like, of course, the standard like highs and lows that you have with a wrestling event. But I don't feel like there was any time where people were sitting on their hands for an extended amount of time.
How was the view sitting? Because you were like, what, 10 rows back or something like that? Were you able to actually see the ring, or was it standing up the whole time trying to see over the people in front of you?
Now it was like I thought like that would be a problem, but no, I could see everything when everybody was sitting down. It wasn't that many periods where people were standing up. It's outside of like the crazy ass like Will Ospreay's parts, but for the most part, people were sitting down and you could see everything going on in the ring, which was dope. But when everybody stand up, I stood up too because I wanted to see. But that wasn't too many times during the show.
Did it affect anything with it being daytime and like entrances or just the vibe of it? Because like we went to WrestleMania in Vegas and you can't make the arena completely dark. So did it change the mood that like it's 3 o'clock when y'all are starting? Did that matter, or was it just like, nah, people been drinking since like 10 a.m. Like we're
Yeah,
ready to go?
it was like people who've been drinking since 3 a.m. and ready to go. I guess kind of like the same, vibe is like a Super Bowl. A lot of Super Bowls begin earlier than later and whatnot. But I mean, people were complaining about, you know, how long the pay-per-view lasted. And I had a theory towards that because I like it didn't feel like we were there for 6 hours.
Mm.
The show just flowed, but I think they did that because they were kind of well, Tony was probably kind of salty about the NXT thing, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna step on Saturday night's main event and make this shit extra long. Because I
I
was telling, I think Busted Open talking about that the next day or somebody talking about that, and I told Mikey that Saturday night because we had enough time to go back and watch the Goldberg match at his Airbnb, but I was like, they probably stepped on this just to spite WWE for being because we know AEW likes to run long, but they usually don't go more than like 4.5 hours. This was goddamn 6 hours.
Yeah, this was also their WrestleMania. I mean, shit. Like before WrestleMania went 2 days, it was like that too. And there's a couple things you could have taken off of it, but I feel like everything that was there needed to be on All In. So I wasn't. Yeah, it was 6 hours, and that's a long time. Like if you're watching at home, that's a long time to ask like your girlfriend or your family to be like, all right, like for the next fucking 7 hours, I'm gonna be tuned into the TV. It's like an NFL football Sunday. But like I said, there was lows in it watching it at home, but I enjoyed the show, man. I really did. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I wish now, looking back, like I wish I would have went. Like it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, you should have went, but there's always London next year. But yeah, I think you would have had a good time. You like Dallas and
I love Texas
ate some
Live.
good barbecue.
Did you hang out
I
at
didn't get a
Texas Live
chance.
at all?
I walked by it, but I didn't get a chance to hang out there. Like I don't know where time went, and I was even trying to go to Bourbon and Banter, like you told me, but I was in Arlington, and that was all the way in Dallas. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I want to go, but this is like 30 minutes away. But I didn't like there wasn't hardly any time to really hang out like that. But I walked by Texas Live, and it was packed. It was packed in there when I was leaving. So next time.
Who got the if you had to gauge top three reactions, not finishing the match, like obviously Hangman winning was probably the biggest finish to a match, but as far as just like their music hit and the crowd went crazy, who got the top three reactions?
I would say Hangman because he went back to his old music. Um, Definitely Copeland because he was returning, and I would say it was probably a tie between Omega and the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if I would have to go as far as like initial pop from entrances. Oh, Swerve was up there too, man. It's hard. Like those were like all right on level with each other. Like
Was anybody
Swerve.
confused by JoJo singing Shaka Khan for Swerve? Because I had no idea that used to be his indie entrance music until they said it on. I was like, why the fuck is JoJo out here?
So I didn't know that was his intro music. I knew it was JoJo, and I knew the song she was singing. I knew it was Shaka Khan, and I was telling the guys next to me, the guys again, like that's Shaka Khan that she's singing. I didn't know that was his interest on the Indies, but
Hmm.
yeah, I guess that's a good tie-in for people that like quote unquote long-term storytelling. Yeah, so Ray long-term storytelling, but yeah,
Right.
that's dope that they had her come out. I didn't know. So is that like they were trying to replace her with Sam because they both sing and light-skinned black woman, I guess.
Sam
I didn't
who?
really,
Samantha
I
Irvin?
didn't know, yeah, I didn't know JoJo could sing too. So like
Yes,
when JoJo left,
JoJo. When she was in WWE, she used to sing the national anthem and all that.
so when JoJo left, they're like, let's just get another light-skinned black woman who could sing, and they got some
That's
Samantha
where the
Irvin.
talent is. I mean, they got Alicia Taylor now. Like I said this during WrestleMania, and then seeing her again on Evolution, she's fucking good with those ring intros. Like I know Samantha Irvin was everybody's favorite, and it was well deserved too. But I think Alicia Taylor is like really fucking good at ring entrances.
Ah, hell yeah, she does it. She does her job, and she's not as quote unquote, I guess, flashy as Samantha Irvin, but she's got good inflection, and I think she's dope.
Yeah. Um, there was a couple, in my opinion, there's a couple finishes that you kind of didn't see coming. Was the crowd kind of like taken aback by who was winning and who was losing? Like I definitely wouldn't have
So
thought Omega would have lost to Okada. I definitely didn't see Mercedes losing also, and I was shocked that the Bucks lost.
yeah, so all three of those, I didn't expect to happen, but everybody popped for the Will Ospreay Swerve win.
I bet.
I can't really remember. Everything's kind of a blur. I can't really remember the reaction off of Omega and Okada when Okada won. Maybe I don't know, but everybody went crazy when Tony won. I didn't expect that to win, but I was like happy it did happen.
Yeah, and that was a fucking pile driver off the top rope too. Like because Mercedes kicked out of like 17 Storm Zeros before that because nobody they don't fucking respect her finishing move at all. Ugh.
Everybody, I think I texted you during the event that everybody
Yeah,
kicks out of Storm Zero.
it's like I've been
Kind of
I remember like
nasty.
losing my shit. They hit Britt Baker in the head with like a wrench or some shit like that out of a toolbox when it was like Tony Storm, Paige, and Ruby Riot, and they like did something to Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter got hurt, and she popped her upside the head with a wrench and then Storm zeroed her. And not only did Britt Baker kick out, she then got up and beat up all three women and won the match. And I was just like, that's her finishing move. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, that's a long time ago. Whatever. I think that's all the questions I got as far as like,
But another part people were shocked about is when Dustin won the TNT title because everybody
yeah,
expected Kyle to win, and before that, Adam Cole
that
came
was
out and
that was my other question was did when I was talking about the crowd, I was gonna ask, did Adam Cole's announcement kind of sober everybody up a little bit? Maybe that's why it didn't seem like the crowd was as lively, or was it not like that in person?
that moment kind of sobered the crowd up a little bit. But the thing that I think got them back on track is that surprise win by Dustin. So
People
people
really were
popped for
here for
that.
Dustin Rhodes winning.
I mean, I guess because it wasn't expected and he's from Texas, people got excited when he won.
I
Maybe about 2025.
I honestly thought Daniel Garcia was gonna win because I was like, well, everybody's picking Kyle Fletcher to win now, like, so they're gonna do something different. I didn't think there was a chance in hell Dustin Rhodes is gonna win.
Me either. That's why we watch wrestling, though, right? Is to be surprised at times. But
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it because everybody expected Kyle to win, and this is a good way to get heat back on him if he destroys Dustin because he didn't get pinned, did he? I can't remember. He
I
didn't
don't
get
even
pinned.
remember
Kyle
who
didn't get.
Dustin pinned, honestly.
I don't think Kyle got pinned, so he could swing that or point to that and then destroy Dustin and get that title and get more heat back on him. Because if he would have just won the title, it just would have expected. But there being a story, him taking it off a legend like that, I don't mind them going that route.
We talked about Copeland returning earlier. He got a huge reaction. Darby Allin drops down like Sting. Did y'all see him before? Like, was there any kind of giveaway that he was coming from the top? And this is something that I noticed. They played the Darby Allin video, and then Daniel Bryan came out, and then Darby Allin came out. It was like, did that go out of sequence or?
I think that was done on purpose. I think they did it to kind of swerve everybody because I didn't expect Bryan to come out. I know he came out for like a ROH event a couple of weeks back, but I wasn't expecting him to come out at that moment. So I think they did that to kind of thrust it off to the scent for a little bit, and then they did the Darby because I'm guessing from home, like you said, it might have came off as an accident maybe, but I want to say they did that on purpose.
I hope they have more video of him at the top of Mount Rushmore or Mount Everest. It's Everest that he climbed, right?
Yeah.
But that was pretty dope seeing him up there talking shit to Moxley. Texas Deathmatch in person.
People were calling it WrestleMania 40, the remix version or something like that.
It did seem
I
like
get
that.
it.
It was basically Bloodline Rules with hardcore stuff going on.
And I get it, but it's recency bias, I guess, because WrestleMania 40 was the most recent thing to do it. But if we probably look at the history of wrestling, it's probably been similar stuff that's happened like that.
Oh, no doubt.
WrestleMania is the biggest thing. So I wasn't mad at it, and like you said, in the arena, it came off as a car wreck in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it was just balls to the wall the whole time. We were all into it. Like I said, people popped big when Hangman came out to his old music. He had the Death Riders out there, of course, getting heat. And when the chips were down, like you said, he had Darby and Bryan coming there. But, the cherry on top, so to speak, was, they tied everything back together. With Swerve coming there and handing him in that chain. Hangman doing what he does to hang people. But, they can't do that when he has a black opponent.
I hope not.
People like that.
I'm glad he didn't do that to Swerve. He turned heel. I thought it was fun. Like watching it from home. There was a couple parts I was like, why would y'all do that? Like the glass and getting stabbed in the head with the fork and just like, why? Like what are we doing here? There was one part where there's a bunch of glass on there, and Moxley grabbed Hangman by the legs and drug him through the glass on his back. And then when he sat up, you could see like the little spouts of blood coming up on his back. And I was just like, when is too much? Like
real glass, cry me a river. But,
yeah.
Like you said, when they started the match,
CM Punk was rolling over in his grave.
Stabbed him with that. You said who?
CM Punk. He's rolling over in his grave during that. Wow.
Oh. I think some people would have some CM Punk chats going on when they brought out the glass, but yeah, they start off the match with the fork, and he started bleeding instantly. So that was obviously real blood. But I'm thinking he probably pre-cut himself in the back for it to come gushing out like that.
That's the same thing my girlfriend was saying.
There's no way.
She was like, it looks like gashes going side to side instead of in the head. And I was like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, he's still bleeding. Yeah. Like, it's gross. I would never.
Yeah, like you said, it's blood is blood, but they definitely he opened himself up beforehand.
He ended up with a big gash on his forehead later on. I don't remember what it was from, but Moxley, he ended up with a real big gash on his head.
who knows, man? This motherfucker wakes up and starts bleeding.
Yeah.
This man's a maniac. But the people talk shit about the Death Rider story. Everything looks different from hindsight. Of course, we've been on the show that there was times where it was like, what the fuck are they doing? He's talking in riddles and soliloquies and all of this shit. And I'm like, what are they doing? But looking back at it, it started off hot, then putting the plastic bag over Brian's head. Definitely had his periods of downtime and lulls. But I think we came on there and talked about how we kind of dug what Cope was doing when he was taking all of them out. And then they stuck the landing with Paige. So it did what it needed to do. It definitely wasn't the most intriguing story the past 8 months, but it did what it needed to do. And I don't think they were trying to come off as like the cool heels. They were trying to come off as likable or whatnot. So it did what it needed to do, and it's over now. So you can see what happens next.
Speaking of seeing what happens next, Tony Storm defeats Mercedes Moné in a good match. It wasn't a great match. I thought the match would have been better than it was. I haven't went back and watched it, but I could just remember watching it and I was like, okay, they're going to pick it up. They're going to oh shit, it's over. But like...
Maybe you got to go back and watch it. I thought the match was really fucking good.
Yeah. It could, and it could have been just like fatigue setting in that when that match started, it was at the 3.5 hour mark or something like that since the show started. So there was a lot of shit that was going on, but Mercedes losing, did not see that coming. Have no idea where they can go with her after this. I'm sure they have plans for it, but Tony Storm, man, best women's wrestler in the history of AEW.
And I think both of us picked Mercedes to win when we were predicting this card. But now looking back at it, because even when I picked it, I'm like, when is Tony Storm going to get her moment? Because she lost that last year's All In. She lost that the year before that's All In. So I'm like, she's got to win one of these, right? So I'm like, all right, this makes sense now. And where does Mercedes go from now? I'm sure they mapped it out, but also it was like about time she finally lost. She hasn't lost yet, and she's been there for a year and a half. So it's about time. But like you said, we still weren't expecting it just because she's been collecting belts. Only thing I can really see now is either a rematch at All Out, which I'm leaning towards, and then Mercedes gets it, or they have an angle where she just goes in a downward spiral and starts losing all her championships and has to build herself back up.
Athena, how was the reaction for her when she won? When she came out for the women's gauntlet and when she won?
Texas girl from the Dallas area, so she got a really nice reaction, and she got a big pop when she won. And I don't know who we picked. I think I picked Willow maybe. So I didn't expect, just because she's been in ROH, and I don't know, I maybe should have thought more about Athena winning, but I'm glad she did. I don't know when she's going. Oh, I guess it is like they treat it like the Money in the Bank contract where she get cash in whenever she wants to.
Oh, it can they?
She does that. Yeah, that's what. Remember, Christian was doing that all year in that busted ass thing he was carrying it in because he was.
Yeah.
He failed.
Athena looks for like, and this isn't just for her either. I think I put this on Twitter the other day, but I do want to say for her, she looks in phenomenal shape. Like, that's probably the best shape I've ever seen her look in. But I noticed on Dynamite last week, I was watching and I was just like, man, Moxley's looking ripped. And I was like, Cesaro always looks ripped. And then the Bucks were out there and I was like, the Bucks got abs. And then Ospreay came out and I'm like, damn, Ospreay's looking lean as shit. Everybody apparently just dialed their fucking shit in because they knew they were going hard this week. I know WWE, like all the wrestlers, start eating better and working out harder around WrestleMania. So I'm guessing that's what happened here. But like, there were so many wrestlers I noticed that were in really good fucking shape. And Athena was top of the list. Like, she, night and day from what she looked like when she was in NXT as Ember Moon.
Hey, like you said, it's that time of the year, your biggest show, so make sure you're in top tier shape. But I'm kind of skeptical about the Bucks. They probably got that Drake surgery.
They had abs and no other muscles.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about them, but yeah, man.
Drake had abs. He didn't have a
Gotta go
trap in
hard, go
sight.
home. Same with Big Sean. Big Sean had noodle arms with those etch a sketch abs. But, hey, I guess if you got the money, go for it, right?
That's funny.
But yeah,
MJF wins the
Athena
men's casino gauntlet, so MJF and the Hurt Syndicate now have all the fucking power because he can get a world title shot whenever he wants, and they got a beat down on Wednesday, and it was like the shit never happened. Like, I was expecting Lashley to come out limping with his fucking knee taped up, and like Sting got attacked by Rick Rude before a match at the Clash of the Champions, and he had to go to the hospital. And when he came back, his tights were like cut so you could see his fucking knee being wrapped up. I was expecting Lashley to come out like that. This motherfucker came out walking normal and just beating the shit out of everybody. And it was like, why'd they take an ass whooping on Wednesday? It was like it never happened.
They could have sold those injuries more, even though the result would have been the same. But yeah, you want to sell a little bit, put the outcome in a little bit of question. But I mean, I guess they did what they did. And with the MJF side of things, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be successful whenever he gets his title shot. Unless he waits like till next year. He might do that. He's one of those type of heels. But even before that happens, I could see the Hurt Syndicate breaking up in somewhere, MJF versus Bobby. But once they and to throw another thought in there, I could see Edge and Christian being the ones taking them off the Hurt Syndicate.
I can't see Edge and Christian wrestling the Hurt Syndicate. There's neither one of them can take the ass whooping that Shelton and Bobby would give them. And they're all about the same age, but I don't think Edge and Christian could take the suplexes and shit that Bobby and Shelton do.
Well, if that doesn't happen, then I just don't know who's going to be able to take it off them unless going back to the things we keep bringing up, it like Joe and Hobbs or somebody like that.
I tell you what, if you go back and watch, they should never put FTR on commentary again. It was awful.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, it was super awful. Just
it was bad though.
Awful. Like, it was like they were trying to go for punchlines and they would forget the punchlines halfway through. Just awful, awful, awful. Like, ugh.
Nobody said they were the best talkers, even though they kind of have improved as far as like being heels. But yeah, they need to stick to the in ring. But as far as commentary, how was JR on the call?
By the time JR was out there, I had like 3 or 4 tequilas. I don't think I was listening too much to the commentary. FTR had me drinking heavily when they were out there, so he sounded all right from what I do remember. He wasn't. There's been other points where JR has sounded like, fuck man, you need to check on him, but he didn't sound bad this time.
Good for JR. I guess they had 4 people on the booth when he was out there.
I can't remember. I thought they had like a rolling chairs of people that were out there. Like, I know Taz was there, Excalibur. I want to think Riccaboni was there. Nigel was there. Like, they had people coming in and out.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that JR is in good enough health where he could come back and pop up at pay-per-views. Whole legend in this game.
Yeah. I think that's all the questions I got from All In as far as did we miss anything? Adam Cole.
Not.
I know we briefly talked to him, but did you see how he got hurt?
No, apparently it happened on Collision or Dynamite, they say.
So Kyle Fletcher did that move where he power bombs him on the side of the ring and completely missed the side of the ring, and the back of Cole's head hit the side of the ring as he was going to the ground. And apparently it's a really bad
Sorry to cut you off again, or was this the time where it happened like 3 weeks ago and people pointed it out?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know when it happened. I just remember seeing it, and they said that was it. But if you remember, he was out for like a year with a real bad concussion where he was having like seizures and shit. So yeah, it might be
Well,
sadly
if it
time
was the
for.
one I'm thinking about, sorry. If it is the one that I'm thinking of, then that's some negligence on AEW's part because he's wrestled like several times since then. Because it's the one I'm thinking of. Like it was one where he like you said, Kyle pretty much missed the apron and looked like Adam Cole took a big spill, but he wrestled several times after that. So maybe it was
Yeah,
that one, or maybe it was maybe something lingering, something from there, or maybe it was something that happened this past week. I don't know. Either way, if this is in a career, man, health is wealth. So we rather him be safer than sorry than
yeah,
for him to be out there for our entertainment. So I'm praying that it's nothing career ending.
yeah. It's he's had an awful string of luck since he's been with AEW. Like, running out there, jumping off the side of the stage to come help MJF, and you break your ankle, like in the middle of the biggest fucking storyline that they had in a while, where he was the devil. Then he had the concussion a couple years ago, where he's having like seizures and can't sleep and shit. Now, whatever this injury is, like, it sucks that it works out like that for some people. You know what I mean? Like, he got here, he finally got the freedom that he wanted from being able to do whatever he wants to do, and you just can't stay healthy. So yeah, sometimes change of scenery is not good for people. Like Samoa Joe couldn't stay healthy in WWE, and now he comes to AEW and he's world champion and off to the races. But sometimes the change of scenery isn't good for you, and I don't think this one's been good for Adam Cole at all. But like you said, hopefully it's not life threatening or anything like that. And if you got to retire in order to have a good quality of life after that, then you got to pick you over a job.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but some people just get injured. So who knows if he still would have got injured no matter where he's at. TNA, WWE, Indies. So it is what it is. He's not the biggest guy, so but wish him a speedy recovery. Definitely AEW style isn't probably the best for somebody who's built like him, and you know that's a lot of wear and tear on your body because they go hard in the paint over there. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's just hope that maybe he'll be able to continue his career, even if it's in a part time type role, like a la Edge. That would be something better than nothing.
Any other takeaways you got from Texas, EJ? Or I know you said you didn't get out much, but
Yeah, I didn't get out much at all. I went to this place called Hurtado's, a barbecue spot.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
busting, man.
I
I'm guessing they get a lot of traffic from Cowboys games and stuff.
yeah, I hear about them on all the Cowboys podcasts I listen to.
Yeah. So I was trying to go to another one, place called Davis, but they were on summer break. I never heard of such a thing from like uh, July 8th to the 12th or 15th or something like that.
Nice.
And so they opened at 11. So I got there around 10:58 and saw that they were closed. So I'm like, let me Google somewhere else, and they took me to Hurtado's. I got there like at 11:08, like 8 minutes after they opened. So I'll be good. When I got there, I saw two couples standing outside the door. I'm like, they're not open yet. Like they're open. This is just a line. I'm like, damn, this place only been open for 8 minutes. And the line's out the door already.
That's when you know it's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I waited in the line, got my food, got me some quail. I felt fancy ordering the quail and the ribs and brisket, and my fat ass ate all of it.
You know, the summer break thing is cool and all, but I feel like as a business, you should plan better than that. Like, AEW's bringing 30,000 people to the fucking city. Do your summer break the following week. Like, that's an awful business plan. Like, you're supposed to know when shit's coming. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's crazy.
De- Definitely poor planning on their part, and my dollar went into somebody else's pocket. So
Yeah.
hey, Shame on them.
Well, EJ was at All In, and while he was doing that, I was here in Atlanta, and we'll touch on Saturday night's main event. There really ain't a lot of newsworthy things. Goldberg lost, but Seth Rollins gets injured, a mystery injury that we don't really know about. And last night on Monday Night Raw, Paul Heyman said, "Look, man, he's got till June to cash in. Like, don't worry about it." I was one of the skeptical people that when I saw it, I immediately was like, it's a work. And I still haven't figured out. And honestly, like, I don't care. Hopefully the guy didn't tear his knee up. If it's a work and he's going to cash in at SummerSlam on CM Punk when Punk wins, I think that'd be phenomenal. But how are you feeling about that? Did you see it? Have you heard anything?
I didn't see it live. You mentioned it either through personal text or I can't remember on the Discord. You said it when you mentioned it. You said it like he got hurt for real. So I didn't think you thought it was a work. I thought so. I'm like, dang, it must be serious. So I went and go check it out. Then even though you told me that he got injured, I watched it and I'm like, oh, this might be a work. He didn't look like he landed hard, even though you know how wrestling fans are hard headed. And I watched it back. Like somebody put in. I hadn't seen the slow motion version of it, but when I initially watched it, I'm like, he just did a backflip and landed on it. I'm like, what's going on? So, and then he went to the ground, and then the finish app ended like all of a sudden
Yeah.
abruptly. And so, I, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's levels to injury people how injured they get and whatnot. There's people that are Iron Man that never get injured, and you got like on the Adam Cole side of things where always injured. I feel like Seth is leaning more so towards like he's been had some injuries over the years, but he's not quite Adam Cole. I don't know if I want to put the injury prone on him, but he's been dinged up over the years, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's kind of like a hyperextension, maybe not as bad as we think, because a lot of people, the people online think they're bookers. They're like, this probably impacted the main event, and Seth probably would have cashed in. How do y'all know that?
Yeah.
I was just speculating.
The thing that made me think
So.
it was a work was Michael Cole immediately was like, oh, he tweaked his knee. He tweaked his knee this past Monday also. And I'm like, if that was unplanned, I don't think Michael Cole would have been that ready for it to be like, he also hurt his knee this past week. And then the ending of it was one of those endings where the person's hurt and they're like, here, just beat me. Which is what happened. So I don't know. If it's work, hey, kudos to them. They did good with it. But as far as Saturday night main events go, what a waste of fucking time that was.
I mean, you convinced yourself that Goldberg was going to take the title. I'm like, I
I
don't know,
wasn't
man.
cheering for him.
Triple
I
H
just
and
thought he was going to win. But nothing ever happens on Saturday night's main event. Jelly
I
Roll
said
was
that
out
before
there.
we went into it. We could talk about that as well. I mean, WWE is built on celebrities coming in, and it's entertainment, sports entertainment. The first WrestleMania, Mr. T and Wendy Richter. So it's pretty like divided as far as the Jelly Roll. Some people love it, some people hate it. Maybe I'm the only one that's just indifferent. If he comes
Yeah.
in and does a good job, then it'll be cool. But I don't care that much about it. So it is what it is, I guess. I don't know what you think about it.
I don't care about it at all, either way. Like, I'll be watching SummerSlam. This will be a good time to go grab another slice of pizza and make another Crown and Coke, probably. I I don't know. I'm used to it. I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. Like, I'm used to the celebrity stuff happening, so it doesn't bother me. It's just also like Saturday night's main event. They keep building it up to be this special thing, and it's literally just a house show. Like, nothing of note happens. The most thing of note that happened this past week was something that they didn't even plan, which was Seth getting injured. Because Goldberg's speech got cut off. Like, whoop-de-doo. You lost. Like, go home. But Atlanta was rocking this week. Between WWE, MLB, and Cowboy Carter, I've never seen so many hot black women in cowboy boots and cowboy hats. than I did when we were walking around Atlanta. It was a sight to behold, EJ.
You know, Beyonce bring out the baddies now. Come on.
Speaking of
Doing this for
hot black
20
women and
plus
booty
years now.
shorts, I want to dedicate this show to Soul Ruka.
Oh yeah, that's your street clothes wrestler of the week.
It wasn't street clothes; it was her ring gear. It was a multi-women tag match, and she had her back to us the entire time she was on the apron, and I was just like, every time I thought about taking a picture of the ring, I would look up and I just see Soul Ruka cheeks.
Oh, weren't you with your lady?
Yeah, that's why I didn't do
risking
it.
it all trying to take it. I'm gonna say you done risking it all trying to
That's why I didn't
get
do
a
it.
picture. Like, damn. Oh man.
She even said so. She's like, I can see her cheeks from back here, and she ain't that big. I was
Shout out
like,
to
yep.
Soul Ruka. That's one match. I saw the beginning and the end. I got to go back and watch that in its entirety. I watched the whole event once I got back. For some reason, I was distracted during a lot of that match, but I saw, Raquel and Roxy pull it out. But hey, that was a big spot for Soul Ruka, so shout out to her.
Evolution was probably one of the most fun pay-per-views I've been to. It was just, the energy was good. The wrestling was really good. The all women's pay-per-view is like historic. I know it's the second one, but then it being in Atlanta, I got to pregame a little bit. And my favorite part of the night, and I watched it back the other day, and you can't hear it as well as what actually happened in the arena. But the first match, Becky, Bayley, and Lyra, they were all standing there, and the crowd just fucking erupted. Like, it was like a fucking all women's pay-per-view. Let's fucking get in. You could see Bayley like start losing her shit, and she got hyped up. And it was just like this ball of fucking energy that just went through the arena. And after that, it was on and popping. Like, it was go time. And I mean, I don't think it was one. The most forgettable match there was probably Jordan Grace versus JC Jane. But then you had Blake Monroe turn heel on her, which I was thinking during that match, like, Blake Monroe's been way too fucking, like, goody two shoes. Like, she was a bitch in AEW, like, dastardly. And then as I'm thinking that, she smacks Jordan Grace in the back with the belt and helps JC Jane win. But, like, as far as the match quality and everything, man, all the matches were good. The Battle Royal was a lot of fun. Yeah, I have no complaints about that pay-per-view. It was over at a decent time. I got to see Jackie Redmond in person. Big E and Jackie Redmond were like, I don't know, fucking 30 yards from me at their little table that they had right there. All the legends were there. It was a good show. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I went to it. I'm glad I made the decision to go, and we had really good seats too. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, like you said, that beginning moment that came off well on TV, where everybody got hyped up when at the start of that match. So I was definitely, pumped up watching that part as well, and that was a good way to start off the pay per view, starting off with that triple threat. And you mentioned the JC Jane and Jordan. I didn't get to watch that match in its entirety. That's the only one, or that in the tag team. The rest I watched it in its entirety, and yeah, like you said, it was a badass pay per view. It was definitely their best event of the weekend. NXT was okay. I watched NXT back too.
Are you including All In that?
Oh, I'm not including. I'm talking about WWE events.
Okay. So
that's just different. It's hard to compare the two because
yeah.
it's like when Evolution has the luxury. They're more compact and sometimes less is more. So it just depends what vibe you like. Some people like a more compact pay per view, and if that's what you like, then of course you probably enjoy Evolution more. But if you just like watching graps all day and a mix of everything as far as wrestling styles, then you probably might lean towards All In. It's just whatever you like.
I agree. I don't think you can compare All In to Evolution. But I will say this: you take Evolution and you add that in with Tony versus Mercedes and the women's Casino Gauntlet, and the women just fucking killed it this weekend. One of the biggest wrestling weekends of the year, and I think the women definitely outshine the men big time.
I can't disagree with that in totality. When you add up everything as far as go match for match, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Especially with the main event of Evolution. But even before talking about the main event, how was like the overall vibe in the building, the aesthetics, and people you were sitting next to, and all of the details as far as that goes?
It was fun. You know how before shows start, like it's always somebody L.A. Night, yeah, woo, like doing the Ric Flair thing, and this dude kept trying to get a Tiffany time chant started, and he kept going, "What time is it?" And nobody was saying anything. So finally, I turned around. I said, "It's 6:27." It says so right here on my watch. He started like, I mean, everybody was in a good mood. Like we're all like talking shit. Like, oh my god, Rhea Ripley fans probably wanted to beat my ass at the end of the show because I was talking so much shit to like, not to anybody in particular, but it was just like, imagine coming all the way to Atlanta to see Rhea Ripley win, and Naomi cashes in and takes the belt, and because everybody's got their Rhea shirts on Marta. My girlfriend's like, be quiet. I'm like, it's just jokes. Like, if somebody really wants to fight because Rhea Ripley didn't win the fucking world title, these hands ain't kayfabe. We've talked about it before. But the vibe was fun,
So
man.
yeah, go ahead.
I was saying the vibe of
Uh-huh.
of everything was fun. Like the people around me were fun. Like nobody was minding that. I mean, I wasn't the only one like jumping up, getting excited. Like wrestling's supposed to be fun when you go see it. Like if you're just gonna sit on your hands and not cheer for anything and get mad at other people for having fun, that's on you. You could have stayed at home and did that shit.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, it was all in good fun. The way you were interacting, not like that asshole I was sitting next to at All In. So hey, you at State Farm Arena. How the like drink prices and stuff like in there?
They weren't the best. They weren't too expensive. I was drinking Jack and Coke doubles, and I think it was like $23 before tip. And they were putting alcohol in it because the first drink I had, I drank some of it. I was like, "Can you give me some more Coke?" And the lady started laughing. She said, "You ordered a double, baby." I was like, "I know, but Jesus, like, I'm not used to that. I ain't drank in a while." The arena, they moved everybody down from the only people at the top level were like opposite hard camera side, but the bottom bowl was completely full, and it was just, I don't know, it might have been like 7,000-8,000 people in there, but it was fun, man. There was no like, with an all women show, you're expecting somebody to just constantly being belligerent and like commenting on, oh man, look at her ass, not do this, that, and the third. There was none of that. Like, honestly, it was probably me that you would have thought would have said some shit. Like, I'm joking. Like, I'm not that disrespectful, but it was fun. It was just like cheer for your favorite fucking wrestler. Like, and the women were over like crazy. Like Tiffany got a big reaction. Trish clearly got a big reaction. Becky, Bailey, Lyra, even Charlotte. Charlotte got a positive reaction. They were just, everybody was getting reactions. The only thing I wish could have been a little bit different was they could have taken a little more time with the entrances for the battle royal, but I know it was a shitload of Stephanie Bakir. Oh my god, like super fucking over. Her winning was like one of the highlights of the night also. And then the cash in with Naomi and Jade, way better than the match we saw at WrestleMania. Jade wins again, and then Naomi with the cash in. I've never seen a cash in person. Like, I don't remember exactly. By this time, it was the end of the night. I was pretty drunk, and my girlfriend said I kept saying, "Holy shit, holy shit, she's coming to cash in." I was like, "Yeah, I don't remember her music hitting." She said, "Yeah, you just kept saying, holy shit, she's about to cash in." And then I got the video of her like handing the briefcase to the referee and clocking EO upside the head and winning the belt. That was good. Yeah, it was just fun, man. It was a lot of fun at Evolution. I wish they'd make it a kind of like they're doing WrestleMania in fucking Vegas all the time. Just leave Evolution in Atlanta. I go every year.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that. Triple H said it's not going to be a yearly event.
Yeah, because he
wants
hates
to keep it
women.
special.
There's two people Triple H don't like: black people and women.
Hey, that's another conversation for a different show. But when you mention that, I mean, I'm not mad at it if like you want to keep it special. Like they don't have the King of the Ring every year, but it definitely doesn't need to be another 8 years. If they did it like once every 3 years, like have another one in 2028, it makes it a big deal. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, I don't think they should
Definitely
go
not 8 years.
as long as they did again, but I wouldn't be mad if it was like every other year, you know? Kind of like what is it? They got like certain golf tournaments and like baseball, like the baseball. What is the baseball thing where all the countries play each other? The something classic or whatever they do. That's every couple years. The fucking Ryder Cup and golf is every couple years. Like have it every couple years. Like make it special again. And next time, don't fucking announce it out of nowhere and put it in a city where Beyonce's playing and MLB All-Stars there that weekend, and you're just doing it to be spiteful to AEW. Like, make a big deal about it, because we complained about the build to it, which the build was shit, but the actual show, it almost reminded me of AEW from like a couple years ago. Like, you don't give a fuck about the pay-per-view, but then you watch it and you're like, this is really fucking good. Build it this time, though. And maybe you can get State Farm Arena to have 15, 20,000 people in there instead of 8. It's not the women that weren't selling it. It was the way WWE went about it and the prices. Like, I don't know. I think this weekend might have been a awakening for them, because there were still tickets available for NXT like a couple hours before that went on sale. There's a lot of tickets available for Saturday night's main event still, and then they had to start moving people around at Evolution. Like, I was seeing people that were sitting at the top level getting relocated because the bottom level wasn't selling out. So I think this might be an eye-opener to WWE. Like, you can't do this to these cities and charge so much fucking money and expect people to be able to go to 2 and 3 events on the weekend. Like, that's a lot. It's not WrestleMania, you know? This is just Saturday night's main event in Evolution. I shouldn't say just, because Evolution's a big deal, but NXT, Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, Evolution. Like, you can't expect people to be willing to shell out money the way they did for WrestleMania. So I'm hoping they learn their lesson, and maybe ticket prices can go down a little bit, or maybe you plan a little bit better, because they announced Evolution like a month ago.
Yeah. Like you said, it's kind of like a culmination of all the things you mentioned, ticket prices, not promoting. But I think the biggest thing is just a little bit of oversaturation. Three events in 2 days. Like, if they would have had one event, I think they would have sold it out if they just had one event. But they're trying to stretch out that money, and that's the result. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think Evolution needs to be a standalone on its own weekend, promoted 4 or 5 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
At least with an actual date, and then, start planning accordingly, right?
I feel like WWE's really going down a bad path of oversaturation. Like, you had this whole weekend of Evolution, NXT, and Saturday night's main event, and then in 2 weeks you're going to have 2 nights of SummerSlam, Like, the matches that are announced for SummerSlam right now, except for Jelly Roll, are really good matches. Like, that could just be a one night pay-per-view. But instead, you're about to force all these other matches into it just to spread it out over 2 nights, and it's not going to be the same. Like, give me Cena Cody, give me Punk Gunther, give me fucking Becky and Lyra. What are the other matches for SummerSlam? There's the triple threat match for the women's title with Naomi, Io, and Rhea. And then you got Jade and Tiffany. Like, that's a pay-per-view right there. Why do we need 2 days for that? That's enough.
The almighty dollar, my brother. That's what it boils down to. But this is not an apples to apples comparison, but it's like apples to oranges. AEW had they finally started to be on the upward take, but diminishing returns. They were going to the same places for the same pay-per-views year after year. Chicago for this pay-per-view, and every year the numbers were going down because doing the same thing every year, you got to mix it up. So WWE's going to doing all these things in one weekend at the same place. I mean, it's a little bit of fatigue, and people can't keep paying to go to the same things or the same company over and over again like that. So, it's just, facts.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. SummerSlam didn't need to be 2 days, like you said. That takes away from the specialness of WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between WrestleMania and SummerSlam besides name?
Oh, after they come back from Saudi Arabia for Royal Rumble 2027 is definitely going to be 2 nights. Women's on one night, men's on the other night. I mean, honestly, they might just fuck around and do Royal Rumble Saturday is the women's Rumble and all the women's matches. And then Royal Rumble Sunday is the fucking men's Rumble and the men's matches.
Fuck it. What? We're going to have 2 nights of Survivor Series as well. War Games men one night and War Games women.
Then we're going to go 2 nights of Money in the Bank.
Fuck around. That might actually happen, man. For real.
Yeah.
We're joking around.
We're laughing about it, but it's 2027. It could be a fucking possibility. But we'll see.
Hey, and then, what's making them stop there? What are like, all right, these are all 2 nights. Let's make the grandfather them all 4 nights on WrestleMania.
WrestleMania's a whole week now.
That'd be wild.
Because, they started doing WrestleMania 2 nights and then doing all of their stuff because ROH was doing WrestleMania weekend, like GCW, all these indie shows, and then WrestleCon. Like, they saw all the money that other people were getting and they were like, oh no. So then they switched it to 2 nights, and then they start doing WWE Access, and then they start doing meet and greets and shit where you pay all this money to see the wrestlers, and it's just like, y'all some greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah, super, man. They gotta pay back that whatever 9 billion they sold for. They gotta pay back those shareholders. But man, now you mentioned that, I remember like that little sweet pocket in time where NXT takeovers were Saturday night and then WrestleMania the next day. Now they had to push these stand delivers to daytime, and it's kind of not quite the same feeling as those nighttime takeovers on Saturday.
That shit was 9 a.m. this year. Isn't that what time takeover started? It was like 9 a.m. Huh?
Yeah. Like I said, my dumbass went. It started at 9 a.m.
I don't know how you survived. Because by the time we got back from WrestleMania, I was ready to call it a night.
I don't know. By the grace of God, man. But yeah, man. Just keep doing it, line those pockets up. But something's got to give, right?
Yeah, you would think so. But yeah, to put a bow on it, I had a great time at Evolution, and not to speak out of turn, you sound like you had a fun time down in Texas. So really good time seeing 2 really big pay-per-view / PLEs this past weekend from Boot to the Face, and I wouldn't change a thing, man. I loved the Evolution, and I'm sure you loved All In. So anytime, as much as we sit here and complain, or at least I do, about the price of these tickets and shit, once you actually do go, it's just fun to go see live wrestling. If you can afford it, Get out and go see live wrestling. You don't have to go to WrestleMania. Go to an indie show. Go to a taping of something. Go to MLW or TNA or ROH or something like that that's in your city, because wrestling to me is the most fun when you can go to it. It's fun to watch it on TV. It's convenient and the whole nine. You don't have to drive anywhere. But when you got a show you're going to, it makes you appreciate wrestling a whole lot more when you're there, in my opinion.
Definitely, it's nothing like that live experience. Interacting and just being in the thick of things, feeling the energy of the crowd. And I recommend all who haven't, especially post-pandemic, go out there, go to a wrestling show.
One thing real quick, the WWE Superstar, trash. There was nothing there. I got up Sunday morning and I was like, you know what? Instead of going to the gym right now, I'm going to go down here. It opens at 9 o'clock. It's like 15 minutes from my house. There's no traffic. They had it at the CNN Center, which closed down. And there was more like, it's
Really?
called
I didn't know that closed down.
yeah, CNN Center, like, it's nowhere near the same as it was 10, 15 years ago. There's like 3 restaurants open in it now, and everything else is just gone. CNN moved out of there. I don't know if you've ever been,
Really?
but when you would go to CNN Center,
I've been to CNN.
okay. So for people that haven't, when you go to CNN Center, it's this huge building, and it's this open space where there's nothing but bars and restaurants all around. But when you look up onto the next level, they're actually filming all the CNN shows up there. And then there's like the Omni Hotel, where like the balconies are looking into this big atrium. All that shit shut down. Like, it's a ghost town in there. And so they put the WWE Superstore in the middle of it because nobody's out there. And they just didn't have any good merch. Like, who was I looking for? They only had one Nikki Bella shirt, which is that old ass shirt that was there. They had 1 or 2 Trish shirts. Jade's shirts weren't that good. Bianca's shirts weren't that good. Becky Lynch, my God. We get it. She's the man. Can't y'all do something that doesn't have the man written on it? The man's back in business. The man's coming around. The man's back in Atlanta. The man's holding me down. Like, Jesus Christ. They're not even trying.
Hey, just cranking out that merch, and people will go up and buy it all too. Was there a long line in here?
Not when I went, but I was there pretty early. I did buy an Evolution tank top because, I love getting event shirts, and that was the coolest looking shirt that they had, and it just happened to be a tank top. I wish it would have been like a hoodie or a regular t-shirt, but it is what it is. Also, I saw something, and as a parent, it made me question like how I would have reacted. So I was standing there, and there was a family in front of me. There was like 2 older gentlemen with walkers because they were like in their 80s, white guys.
Damn.
Another older white woman and a little young black kid with them. Clearly either adopted or somebody in their family was with, somebody that wasn't white, clearly. But they were there. And this woman walks up to him and she says, "Hey, we saw that he wanted this Jey Uso wrestling buddy, and y'all told him no, but my son really wanted him to have it, so we bought him one and just gave it to him." And I was like, one, that's really sweet for the kid to be like, "Oh, he wanted this, like, can we get it for him?" But like, there's a reason he was told no. Now, maybe they didn't have the money for it. I don't want to say that because they were at the WWE Superstore. They all had WWE merch on. Maybe the kid was being an asshole that day. And they were like, "No, you want to be a dick? You can't have a Jey Uso wrestling buddy." So, I don't know. It was just, I thought it was a nice moment. But then I was thinking about it on my drive home. And I'm like, they told him no for a reason. Like, I think I'd be kind of pissed off if I told my kid no something and somebody came up and were like, "Here you go with your broke ass. Like, we bought it for him since you can't afford it." Like, that's not what they said, but that's pretty much how it came off, right?
My antennas would go up
Yeah, that I don't know.
The reason why my antennas would go up is the reason why my antennas would go up is for that reason. Like you being pretty presumptuous to just buy him that. Like you said, he could have been an asshole, but then then the other wheels in my head start turning. Like, are you getting this kid a toy because you see he's a little black kid and you assuming that we don't have money as well? Like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
whole situation is just weird to me.
Yeah, it was a thing, but at the end of the day, it probably wasn't any of that. It was probably just a little kid seeing another kid and being like, he's a Jey Uso fan. I'm a Jey Uso fan. He should have this fucking Jey Uso wrestling buddy. Mom, can we get it for him? And that was honestly probably it. But as the parent of the kid that they said no, like I said, you don't just tell your kid no because you're being a dick. Like, there's usually a reason why you tell your kid no to something. Either they're being an asshole, maybe you don't have the money. Maybe he didn't clean his room that day. And you're like, I told you can't get anything while we're here. And for somebody else to come up and kind of overstep and being like, we saw that he wanted that, so we just wanted to get it for him. And now the kid's looking at you like, see, they love me more than you do. Well, go live with them, you little son of a bitch.
I know, right?
They love you so goddamn much. Go see if they got an extra bedroom. Little motherfucker eating up all my food all summer. Clearly, I have kids.
Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
Right? Your stomach ain't hurt since June. But your ass stomach hurt every time it's time to go to school. Now all of a sudden you got a stomach ache. I ain't heard you complain about your stomach hurting all summer. Just in the kitchen eating. Drinking fucking Mountain Dew. Eating Lunchables the whole fucking week. little PTSD. That's all I got for wrestling, man. I know we haven't done power rankings in a while. We can get back to that next week.
But before we get on out of here, Phil Brooks, CM Punk wins the gauntlet match yesterday on Raw. They were getting their ass whooped, and lo and behold, Rucker's tribal chief made his long and waited return.
It's always good to see Roman.
Did you know he was coming back?
No, I didn't know. Come back to Birmingham, Alabama? Shit, no. I thought that'd be the last place he would show up. Don't nobody want to go. Is he Forrest Gump? Birmingham.
I don't read dirt sheets. I know you don't read dirt sheets, but the crowd was chanting OTC before he got on there. Were they smart fans or did it lucky guess?
I don't know. That was weird. This could be a reaction from Seth Rollins getting hurt, though. Like, because Seth Rollins, whether he's hurt or not, for real, he was in the middle of like 3 or 4 different storylines. Like, he was the centerpiece. So maybe Roman wasn't supposed to come back yet. Now he's back because when an emergency, break open glass.
I don't know. Like, thinking off the top of my head, I don't even know, like, what does Roman even really do right now?
Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson Reed.
Won't be mad at that. And then after that, he just goes away again.
And then after that, he beats John Cena after John Cena beats Cody again.
I would love if that happened. Fingers crossed.
You got to think Roman's getting another crack at John Cena before he leaves.
When's the last time they interacted?
3 or 4 SummerSlams
2021?
ago. Yeah. John Cena finally stopped doing missionary every night.
Roman got his ass that time. Finally. Hey, man. Like you said, Roman's your biggest star, so it's definitely nice to have that, bump in, interest. Roman always going to bring interest when he comes on.
Yeah, I don't. Him and Jay would be a cool team to see, but I don't know where he fits in yet because he still doesn't like Punk, clearly. Rollins isn't there, and that's who he got the most beef with, so yeah, maybe they do pivot and just go back to him and John Cena.
That would probably be at the end of the year, though, right? That seems like it would cap things off. Cena and Roman.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm excited to see though. It'll be an interesting SummerSlam.
You know what? Now that I think about it, Roman may have been in the plans all along, and I think they were probably going to go not Seth, CM Punk, Gunther regardless. And without Seth's injury, I think they probably were trying to do. They're probably trying to do a 6-man, Seth and his crew versus Roman, Jay, and who's your women's world champion right now?
Naomi?
And that the couples always travel, so I can't imagine Jimmy just staying on SmackDown.
Not for nothing. I know not to change the subject, but I know we talked about it briefly, but was that one of the most surprising cash-ins? I didn't see it coming.
It's probably up there. I can't see that I wasn't like completely surprised by it. I don't know. Maybe I was surprised. I don't know. Like, because I didn't get when I watched it, it wasn't spoiled for me. I somehow avoided spoilers. I don't know. You might be right now that I'm thinking about it. Definitely, Seth is always going to be probably like the gold standard as far as surprise cash-ins. But yeah, you could probably definitely for women's at least because a lot of women's is cashing on the same night.
Because think about how she's beefing with Jade. And her and Jade and Bianca got this whole thing going on. And Jade's getting a shot at everybody just knew, oh, she's cashing in at SummerSlam. And then for her to take a hard left and just go cash in on Raw's world title in the main event of the women's pay-per-view, like, that literally just catapults her to the top now. I know she's the champ, but I mean, as far as the position that they put her in, like, they basically put her as the top woman in the company.
And, it goes to show hard work pays off. A few years back, Vince McMahon kind of casted her and Sasha off, and now both of them are cooking. She was able to reinvent herself in TNA as Trinity, and now she's on top of the card. So
I know this can be like not racist. What's the word for it? Where somebody's nationality, you kind of
prejudice?
Huh? No. Anyway, whatever. I know it could come off like that depending on how you look at it. But I laughed so fucking hard when she told Io, like, I have no idea what you just said. But you can get your fucking and Rhea get y'all's asses to the back of the line.
It was a little xenophobic.
But I think it was done in like a comedic enough way to where it wasn't offensive.
So I think like, and on her on social media and whatnot. Yeah, so it is what it is. But it's funny that you mentioned earlier that you got to sit in for a cash in. Most of us will never experience that because you don't know when it's gonna happen. So
right,
you probably like probably like in the top 1% of like people that's ever gonna experience that because they don't. It's not like you could buy a ticket beforehand to see a cash in unless they call a shot like Braun did or Cena did.
Exactly. That's why I said I've never been a part of one.
You got to witness history.
So to see it was, and then to see it in the middle of a match that was cooking, like Rhea and Io, them motherfuckers got some chemistry between the two of them.
Oh yeah, that was the match of the night, of course, but up there for match of the weekend.
I'm not the biggest.
They were cooking. So
I'm not the biggest Rhea fan, but seeing her in person was a experience.
Oh yeah, and what aspect?
Just the, she just, she's a star. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I get why everybody that's in person when she comes out reacts the way they do. Like she's got a star presentation, she's got a star vibe, she's got a star look, and she definitely knows how to work the camera. I took a video of her, and I felt like she was looking at my camera. Like, it looked like she looked directly at me when I was taking the video, and I was fucking 30 rows back. Like, she definitely knows how to, she's got a presence about her that I could see why people enjoy her presentation the way they do.
Yeah, I mean, you said she has those intangibles, but anybody could get rammed down your throat a little bit too much. I don't say she's at that point, but you know, they don't want to go too overboard. So I'm glad she didn't win the title back, and maybe they know that too. That's why they let Naomi cash in instead of her winning it.
Ugh. EJ, I'm telling you, when that match got ready to start, I was like, should we just leave and beat the traffic? Like, I already know Rhea's gonna. Could you imagine if I would have left?
You'd have been kicking yourself in your own ass if that had happened.
Yeah. But I also was like, Io is one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, I gotta see Io wrestle. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen Io wrestle in person or not. I may have, but I definitely wanted to see her this time. I think I saw her in NXT once, but as far as on the main roster, I don't think I ever saw her wrestle. So that was a fucking treat. She's just as smooth in person, if not more, than she is on TV.
Yeah, I saw the triple threat match at Mania, and like you said, I mean, not just women, she's up there for one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. So shout out
Also,
to Io, and I'm sure she's gonna get the title back eventually.
another fun fact: I've seen Becky Lynch wrestle probably 10 times. I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle as a babyface. I saw her debut.
I'd have to think, man.
Yeah, I saw her debut at State Farm, but I don't think they wrestled that night. They just got into a brawl. Unless they wrestled that night, then I did see her as a babyface. But I saw her at WrestleMania versus Bianca at SummerSlam. I've seen her at Day One here in Atlanta wrestle. I saw her wrestle this past time at Evolution. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle as a babyface. She always gets a big reaction, but I've never seen her as a babyface actually wrestle. That's crazy to me. As long as I've been a fan of her, I've never seen her wrestle as a babyface.
I guess I saw her wrestle both. I mean, who she wrestled at 40? She lost to Rhea at 40, didn't she?
Yeah. She was a heel, though.
She was a babyface at that time. No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was a heel.
She was Because remember when Rhea got hurt, she won the title again, and then Liv beat her. She was a face during that time. This is
Yeah,
her,
you might be right. I know she got booed.
This is her second heel
Yeah.
run. She was a heel when she came back. Yeah, she got booed, but they were just being assholes.
Yeah.
Was her face turn? We were there when she turned face. Remember, she turned face at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam.
The one we went to.
Yeah, but she was injured, so then she was out right after. But she went into the match as a heel. So, yeah, I've never seen Becky Lynch. I've seen her appear as a face. Seen her do interviews and shit like that and show up to attack Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, that kind of shit. But I've never actually seen her wrestle as a babyface. Crazy work. That's all I got, EJ.
And I saw her wrestle. Oh yeah, I was about to say one more thing. I saw her wrestle babyface at this year's WrestleMania, and when she turned heel the next night. So yeah, Becky. That's Becky Lynch for you.
Shout out to Klay Thompson.
Yeah, got himself a stallion.
Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Action-packed weekend of wrestling. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, and make sure to keep on tapping in. That's all I got.
If you're listening to this on podcast, please give us a like. Leave a comment if you want. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, that's all I got too. Next week we'll get back to some power rankings and street clothes rest of the week and try to get back to a more regular layout of the show. But it was just a lot going on this weekend. One guy being in Texas, one in Atlanta, both going to shows, and a lot of coverage from your boys at Boot to the Face. You can't get that anywhere else, O'Shea. So for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Until next time.